Hello, all. Welcome back to Winter Talks, where we talk to some crazy people about some crazy stuff. Because let's be honest here, no one would ever join this willingly if they weren't crazy. Today we have Mr. Brandon B.B.B. How are you doing today, sir?
Hi. just a gun to point for like, hi. Said help, but nah, I'm alright. How are you actually?
I'm doing great. We've had this one planned. I want to say we've had this planned since before Winter Talks was an idea. Like we've wanted to have me doing like a podcast with you. I really want to say like since the first one that we did on your channel,
Mm,
I was kind of like I gotta interview you at some point,
yeah.
and it just never ended up happening until now. And as I said before we started this, I think it was absolutely criminal of me not to have you on season one,
Mm-hmm.
because season one was just I think that would have been the perfect way to do it, the perfect time to do it, and I didn't. And I feel really bad about it, man. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry.
So, how about you introduce yourself to our audience here? Tell us who you are and what it is you do along the scene.
So, see, I'm Brandon B.B. I manage 3 channels, and I still don't know how the fuck I do it, but I am a musician, artist, story writer as of a few years ago, and uh, I'm a redhead avatar that seems to scream at everything because that's his entire motive. Yeah, let's just say my avatar that you normally see. He's stupid. That's kind of all I've really got for this intro. But yeah,
He big dumb.
funny dumb. That's kind of how. Like I came up with that character just in mind of just like, well, this channel's just gonna be like a one-off. Like, I'll upload whenever I upload. So that's how that character kind of started. Is just like, well, let's just make him look like he's very both dissociated, but also just going after, like, just I don't know how to probably explain it. Like, he's wall-eyed, but he's kind of like his character was just very weird to come up with. It's like, okay, it's me, but it's kind of like he's a downgraded version of him because I normally just be like,
Oh, gotcha.
well, if we record videos, normally I'll say something stupid. Normally it goes on for a while, then I realise what I've said, like, probably after the recording is done. It happens on stream all the time. It's just, I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like it fits with his character. But yeah, Brandon B.B.B. is a crucial part. I'm also a part of 2 other channels. Used to be 3, but that will be the peeps. But let's just say, we'll get into it later because it was part of the topic list. But I'm part of the Golden Trio, which is myself and BC at the moment. Sadly, we lost our third member over a year ago, but we're
Yeah.
still keeping the name in honour. But we'll get more into TT later. But B.B.B Archives is the newest addition to what I'm doing, which is my lore channel, which is where
Hell yeah.
big main story and sub stories will go. So that's going to be a very fun time.
Hell yeah. So, let's get to the introduction to your content creation scene. The earliest thing that I can find on your channel is a Sonic remix,
Yes, it's not actually.
which
It's. Oh, finish. You go on. Sorry.
it again. It may not be the first thing that you ever posted, but it's the first thing that I could find. So I kind of want to ask, why?
So pretty.
Just in general, like, why was it that?
So it wasn't the first project I've done, which many people have known who follow me throughout YouTube. I know a good friend of mine, Dean Areno, he's been through it all. But it wasn't originally music based for the B.B.B channel. It's mainly supposed to be like group gameplays, which was so the timeline of like, well, the BB channel is. It used to be called DBE Productions, which is kind of like myself and two IRL college friends just making videos, but it just ended up being me that's been doing it. So I just kind of I
Okay.
rebranded it to just me. So, but the first music project I ever released was a volume of remixes, and I just preferred Sonic because it was so simple, like the old school Sonic, like Sega Genesis, Sonic 1 and 2, and even Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like, I loved those games growing up, and it's just, it seems kind to, it, I just had a stroke, what the whoa.
Nice.
That, has that ever happened on this, has it ever happened in Series 1?
A few times, yeah.
I was about to say, if I'm the first one, that's just embarrassing. Oh, God.
You're definitely not the first one this season.
Oh,
So
okay. That gives me slight comfort.
you'll be good. You'll be good.
Yeah, yeah, but Sonic kind of seemed to stuck in terms of music because it was simplistic, yet it was so beautiful. Like old school, like the old school sound chip is just, it was beautiful for its time. Then I feel like as I found my way through FL Studio, because it used to be just Cubase through like school, and it was so tragic to make music on. That Cubase was just bad. But as soon as I found as soon as I found like Logic Pro and FL Studio, I kind of just seemed to use those sounds to make music, because I did kind of just use those. Well, I didn't use those sounds specifically when I did the Sonic Remixed album, which I did, which probably is the first music project on B.B.B, but I feel like as time went on, I found more sound fonts to use. So, but when I did that,
Yeah.
it was kind of like my way of unlocking my own memory to the Sonic games, because I just loved them growing up. I know Elijah plays them religiously, but I'm in the same boat as him. I used to play them religiously, so
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I did not know the past era of your channel. So it was, you've kind of always been someone who works alongside other friends as a creator,
Yeah.
or at least so it seems. When did, because as I said, the Sonic Remix thing was the first thing I found. When did you start content creation? Because I don't think I know this.
It was like I tried doing YouTube for a while, like way before the DBE Productions era, like, but nothing seemed to work. So when I did DBE Production, I think it was like 20. It was the start of lockdown, so 2020. Then
Oh, wow.
yeah, 2020 was literally just like, okay, YouTube, we go for it. I feel like the idea stemmed before lockdown, but it came to fruition during lockdown.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So you've run B.B.B for a little bit now, as you know, by that. What has the basis for that channel been? I guess for you, like, what's the main thing for that channel?
There is no main thing, I'll be honest. It's just like if you have like a video that doesn't quite fit, or just if you. So the thing is, I talk with Beastie a lot about it. It's like if I have something that kind of seems like a group video, or it seems like it's fit for the Golden Trio channel, I kind of just upload it there. But if it seems more like, okay, it's a bit more like me and a bit more personal, it kind of goes towards the B.B.B channel, because I feel like if it's more personal, it's more of like a one-to-one like things. Like it's more, I guess, I mean personal, because it's like you're actually going through the game with. I think about it with most YouTubers is like, for example, Corey Kenshi. It kind of seems like you're in the room with him playing those games, and you're just witnessing him with it. That's kind of but the main groundworks of Brandon B.B. is now. It's just like I want to try and release videos that make it seem like we're in the same room playing it, and you're just witnessing some dumbass play, I don't know, fucking Bendy or Cuphead, but when it came to DB Productions, it was kind of just like well, we have loads of time on our hands. COVID's infecting the world. Fuck it, we play Among Us. Like, that's kind of what that stem was. But in terms of like the overall foundation of what B.B.B used to be, like it used to be like, okay, you consistently upload, but now it's just kind of like I do what I want. I don't give a shit. So I'm being completely honest.
I mean, yeah, I try to keep a consistent schedule, but especially over the last few months, it hasn't always worked.
You have no idea how many times I tried to get a schedule sorted. Like I get these like ideas, and I just put them all in a massive list. Me and Beastie go through them for TGT. We're like, okay, we'll do this, this, and this. Do we ever do them? Fuck no. Like, I'll be completely honest, we never do them. But at the same time, it's like, is it really the right time to do these ideas now or later down the line? Because that's kind of where my mind goes to. Is like, I'm trying to think of what happens in the future. Like, okay, like I've told this idea many times, and I even said it to Beastie. Like, what if we just by we I mean I did a honey pop series on both the honey pop games. Like, what the fuck? Like, I could literally
that would take a lot of editing with the current YouTube atmosphere.
With the current,
I will say that
with how YouTube's gone, it's gonna be a definite many edits, trial through tribulation. But at the same time, like,
lots
of
fun. Blurring,
like.
lots and lots of blurring.
But that's the overall fun of it. It's just like, you know, like you can get a genuine reaction if you've never seen anything of the game before. But I've played and seen Honey Pop. Like, I played it like, I believe only for a short period. But I've seen Mark play it. I've seen Dashi play it. So I feel like I'm just like, well, it's gonna be a very funny video if I just play both of these. Fuck it, whack on TGT, because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that will go well, because that's kind of where my thought process is.
If the algorithm pushes it.
Yeah, that's if the algorithm pushes it, but yeah, but when it comes down to B.B.B, it's just like I have a list of videos that I want to do, and again, I just don't do them. I feel like it just, in my mind, I'm like, it's left brain, right brain. It's just like left brain, so I don't really care what I've used, but the right brain is just like, will this do well? Will it? Like,
yeah,
but
I mean, with me, it's not even just the videos anymore. It's like the book release schedules and taking time to get writing for music done, and is a whole lot of stuff. And so I wanted to find a good way to segue into this, but I don't really have a good way to segue into this, because you, as you've said, you run Golden Trio with Beastly, you run your solo channel, and you run B.B.B Archives, but you used to help run something else as well. And that is a little group called The Peeps. And I wanted to talk about that kind of era of your content creation and talk about, how everything formed with that, how everything, went down, if you want to talk about that. So go ahead, yap as much as you want about The Peeps.
Okay, The Peeps here is the start of where Decrypted was born. That's what I'll say in the lore front as of right now. But when it came down to like how I joined, it was just a simple like, at the time, it was Kami and Nikki who kind of had that sort of Nikki kind of just said like in DMs with them before I even joined, saying I already counted Brandon as a Peeps member anyway. That's kind of where I'm just there like, I don't see it. I'm just an idiot who plays games and makes music, but fuck it, I'm here for the long run. Because I think I edited for Nikki either before or during the Peeps era, so I feel like I kind of just joined through Nikki, and plus I had good bonds with Elijah and Kami and Logan throughout the time, and even Gren, which was kind of all of us in one place. So when it was kind of like announced that I was going to be part of it, I mean, it was pretty much bound to happen, because I edited for Nikki, I did music for I'd kind of just hung around with the group more and more as time went on. So I've kind of just they had the choice to announce it publicly behind my back. I'm like, how fucking dare you? But at the same time, it's just like I talk about the peeps all the time. So I'm proud to be a part of it, but I wasn't really proud about how things flowed. Cause I'm not gonna lie, the peeps were supposed to be like. Don't get me wrong, the idea was there for a group channel, but it was mainly stemmed of like, okay, I had consistent. My mindset was like have consistent uploads, so I kind of just tried to upload every day while also trying to balance everything else on top. And then when Decrypted was born through my first year in October of the peeps, I think that was what 2021, I think. I generally can't remember when Decrypted was born. That's when shit went downhill because it was just too much, and I have no one else to blame but myself for working too hard. I mean, Elijah says it all the time to me when I bring it up. Yeah, I have no one to blame but myself for overworking myself because I was doing music for that channel as well. I was, if I can remember correctly, right. My dog's barking.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just so I was editing for Nikki, making music, fleshing out Decrypted as much as I could at the time. Trying to get B.B.B in order, even though I'm pretty sure B.B.B was out of service for a while when I was in the Peeps era. But either way, I tried to keep on top of it.
I mean, it's still out of service. No offense.
It's
not a very active channel.
I mean, I feel like the reason why it. See, the things with B.B.B, I really just don't care. Like, I care, but I also don't care. So I care to upload, but it's just when you'll see that, I have no idea. But it's. I want to try and get some stuff situated beforehand before I start having the ball rolling again, because I want to try and get that channel back up and running. For me, it's mainly TGT and BB archives at the moment, because those two are just kind of like. I'm working on CNT, which we'll get into I think later, and then we have TGT, which we'll get into pretty soon. But with the peeps, it was like half of us uploaded less than I think it was me, Nikki, and Elijah. And a little bit of Kami and like we started uploading a lot more. I started taking the ball rolling for a while. Then I was just kind of like, well, this is shit. Well, let me just. So I had the subconscious choice to leave because I was overworking myself. Plus, I wasn't really finding that joy in uploading a Peeps video anymore. Like, no offense to everyone else in the group, but like they're all they're all doing their bits. Like it's all. Love and respect each and every one of them, but when it comes down to it, when it's just me, like mostly uploading the videos, it was just a bit crap. Nikki saw it; she wasn't really having fun with the Peeps anyway. And then Beastly joined the Peeps for a month, then he dipped. Being completely honest with you, so us three kind of just sat in a call together. It's like, well, we're kind of just the golden trio that left, and then that's where the idea for TGT came about. So that's kind of all the Peeps era. So
yeah, and then the golden trio formed, and I think that, I mean, only if you want to. I think the one thing to address is that it's not a trio anymore.
Yes.
Nikki, unfortunately, I believe it was either a year ago or maybe even close to 2 years ago at this point, Nikki had passed away.
Yes.
And I was a part of the community, and for a few, I want to say for about a month, I even offered, like, myself to try and help people in the community who were grieving. And I really respect the decision that you guys made to not have anybody come in as a quote replacement, because I feel like that would have been the wrong move and I really respect you guys for being able to carry on through everything that happened.
Yeah, me and BC, like the day that we found out was like me and BC were like, well, we don't really know if it's been confirmed yet. But then the day, I think a few hours later, Nikki's mother messaged a friend of ours, and we were just like,
Mm.
shit. Then it didn't hit as much that day. Then like literally the day after, I couldn't help, and I couldn't even contain myself. I was literally just upset and just like, and also thankful that
Yeah.
I got to spend time with Nikki as much as I did, because she was such an amazing person. She was an amazing inspiration for all of us, and she was pretty much the reason how me, Elijah, Squish, Logan, Kami, Gren even kind of became friends. So I couldn't really help but be upset like the next day after we found out.
Yeah.
It was just a hard pill to swallow, and I kind of just said to everyone, like, I'm gonna make a video on TGT and Nikki's reaction channel saying what's going down, because it kind of just felt wrong to just keep it within the Discord server, because not many people are a part of it. Like, I understand that, so that's why I kind of made that video. And then
Yeah.
when it came down, because someone did ask a question when all this was going down, I was like, will you be changing the channel name? And then me and BC both have the decision to say no, we're not changing the channel name or even how it's going to be flowed. It's going to be the same, because we're going to honour Nikki and saying
Yeah.
the trio, not duo, because that's wrong. Plus we didn't want to have anyone coming in to fill her spot, because that's just wrong. It's wrong
Yeah.
to do that. So
Yeah. Stepping away from the sadder stuff about Golden Trio, you guys have done a lot on the Golden Trio, and for a while there, it was pretty popular. There were a lot of views coming in with some of those videos.
yep.
So let's go through the history for Golden Trio as a channel.
TGT was, as I explained earlier, it was an idea that me, Nikki, and BC had when we left the peeps. We just kind of like, well, what if we just did a channel where it's just us three, and then we just kind of took off. So we did.
Yeah.
We did the channel trailer, which I edited, put together, and then literally the next video after was the very first music track to ever be released on that channel, which is Multiverse Error, which that is the first kind of proper video I'd done for the channel, and it was also the first like proper video for the channel anyway. I think the next video it was reactions of Nikki and BC reacting to I can't remember what it was, but they reacted to like Long Beach Griffey, people who did like skits. And then Nikki had the idea of like, okay, let's just do skits. She did a few skits on TGT as time went on.
Yeah.
I kind of took the ball rolling with music, and I believe, what was it? Subtle Law Here and There to just release for the first Complexiverse album. But
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
oh dear, that was a time to be alive. Like, the thing is, with Complexiverse, there was also Iris remixes, which Iris/DA Games, like, I've done it for a while. Then we did Roblox gameplays. Like, I played Doors religiously. Beastly knows, Elijah knows, to the point where I kind of just S+'d the game. Didn't even know you could. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. We get every achievement. That was my inner completionist, and I'm very I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it, because that's like what 2 hours of my time trying to get one achievement, and it was just shit. I'll be honest, it was just bad. But yeah, we just played Roblox, and we had the idea of starting a Minecraft server. Thankfully, I had a slot open, so I was like, fuck it, we'll see where this goes. And then and I've told this to BC many times, the Minecraft series is my favourite, because it's been consistent, and since it's now a modded server, we get to add more stuff to it. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, so modded Minecraft is kind of where we're at the moment, but there's also some videos that we did that have good moments, but I guess it's even because we did Stardew at one point, which we had like what 4, maybe 5 episodes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also a very fun time to play because there was just so many jokes in that. There's so many jokes in the Minecraft one throughout the beginning of it because it was just like there was like no. We're not a monetized channel, as you could probably tell.
Yeah.
So we get to say whatever the fuck. Cause there was a point where we were just in a random cave system. I feel like in BC's point of view, he said it. He picked up, and thankfully it's in the video. I feel like it's the first video that we did for that series. It's just like, BC was gonna go get some stone to make a stone pickaxe, and we just kind of followed BC, and just out of nowhere, like in that video, you could just hear Nikki in the back, and I quote you in saying this, saying, "Give me seed now." I'm like, what? What?
Yeah.
like it's little moments like that kind of just have to stay in. I just love how TGT's dynamic works because we all have the same kind of thought process when we do videos. It's just like we'll just have fun with friends at the end of the day. Like,
yeah.
So as time went on, more Irish remixes came to be, and then I released a big behemoth, which was Dawn of the Demetrix / Jaws of Dawn collection, which I kind of did just to be like, well, have this, just have it.
Yeah.
That was a very difficult time for my PC at the time, because I'm not gonna lie, I used to own those very shit HP PCs, like stuff you get in like what 9th or 10th grade if you're doing like computing or something, or like even like old school Photoshop. That video, I'm not gonna lie to you, take 2 hours to render.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm never doing that again. Like, never in a million years. And thankfully, with the new PC I have now, it's been faster. But in that moment, I'm like, never again. And thankfully, when Are You Proud of Me Now got released from DA Games, I was like, okay, this is my end point. I've had enough. I'm doing original stuff from now on, and I just released that. And it became the most viewed video on the channel, and I'm like, where the fuck was this when I did the Irish shit? But
it's like they pushed me out, then they pulled me back in.
I worked hard to get away from him. We're bringing you back, but even though you ain't coming back. That's kind of why I found that remix funny, because it's just like, it's my final one piece. It racks up, like, as of right now, 21,000 views. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, I find it funny.
What about my cover? Couldn't you guys get that one up? Just kidding.
Yeah, the thing is, I really liked your cover of it. Like, as I was about to say, like, why isn't this getting more traction? I'm just a fucking moron that took a MIDI file and put it to the extreme, apparently. So, really no...
That was a custom instrumental, too, so... Fuck you guys. Just kidding.
Yeah. Then when I found out they all got released to like what 10,000 views, I'm like, fuck it. I'm remastering the instrumental only. I can't be asked to put the lyrics in. So I was like, fuck it, release this. But yeah, that's kind of where the Irish / DA Games remixes stopped, which is Are You Proud of Me Now? I mean, I still do them behind the scenes just to test new sounds, but I don't release them because no, we don't. We don't talk about them.
Just no.
No. But when it came down to what was it? Not long after Nikki passed, which we're gonna have to get, sorry for going back to this, but we kind of just stepped away for like a month or two. Then we kind of got the ball back on rolling because we needed time to just like process everything. And I remember spending like an hour or two on a call with BC saying, what do we do now? What do we do? But
Yeah.
thankfully we got it all figured out in the end. We're still honouring the hue in the channel banner, the channel name. Like there's nothing's changing, except for the way we do music and lore at the moment. Because we're currently planning a War of Sientia, which I'm gonna say now because I'll be releasing a video probably before this goes live, which is War of Sientia is gonna be put on hold for a while because the scripts are done. I just need to get the soundtrack and the sound effects sorted. The graphics, and they're gonna take a very long time.
Mm.
But everything's going smoothly in terms of War of Sientia, and it's been going smoothly as of recently. But I'll be putting the project, at least the release date of it. I'll list it as on hold for now, but we'll definitely get it sorted next year. So for those who were wondering where the hell it was during this time of recording, which is the 29th of October, it's on hold right now, and I have to say sorry.
Yeah, I'd say that's okay. It's a big project that you guys are cooking up. So.
You don't know how big it is. Oh Jesus Christ! Like most of my time is dedicated to Scientia. Like I've been currently in works with chapter 2 right now. I've got up to like page 8 at the moment, and we're halfway through it. But we're just about halfway through chapter 2 right now. Chapter 3 will be a breeze because it's talking about future events that are happening in regards to, well, chapter 1 it kind of ends with Invalidine getting killed, and chapter 2 kind of be continuing it. Chapter 3 is like a massive time skip to a the creation of one of Scientia's biggest beasts, if I had to say. So that would be very fun to explain, but yeah. So Scientia's taken up most of my fucking time, but when it came round to releasing Complexiverse, my mind just kind of just went, well, all the pieces beforehand in the Peeps era are there. We just continue it. So so the idea of Complexiverse is like, well, we needed another place to go, so what do? We add another universe to it. So
yeah.
And fittingly, I didn't realise this until when B.B.B Archives released. It's like Haberverse is the B.B.B channel, Complexiverse is TGT, Dramaxiverse is the Archives channel, and then the underside is forgotten video ideas, or just ideas in general that just kind of go to die. So I'm just there like, this is literally just my brain put on a map. What the fuck?
Yeah. So, speaking of that stuff, let's talk about, I guess, music in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a lot of creative inspirations, shall we say?
I'd say so.
Let's explore some of the inspirations that you have, some of the ones that you're incorporating into the stuff more so nowadays than you were before.
Mm-hmm.
The first one that we gotta mention, as you said, DA Games and Iris was a big inspiration for a while. And I mean, I'd wager to say that it still is, as you're using not release remixes of those to just test out new sounds that you're using.
Iris is a don't get me wrong, DA Games is kind of like well, let's just say DA Online, big inspiration, but it's mainly Iris, because like I've told this to Will when during MCM, it's like Iris is such a big part of my life because it helped me through dark times when nowhere else could, especially throughout Goliath's Throne, Heart of an Artist, Dawn of the Demetrix. There were some songs that I did feel like, what was it? Plague was a big one for me, and also Into the Beyond, because they just sound beautiful to me, even though Plague has a different meaning. I just kind of like the overall instrumentation and production that goes behind Iris more than DA Games, and even Pandorium.
Will uses just a vaster soundscape than DA Game stuff, and it's really cool, especially what he did in the DOTD era.
Dawn of the Demetrix,
but yeah, I mean, I want to say that this is another one that you take inspiration from, considering you have some of the sound fonts in your library, Toby Fox,
Yes.
and with Undertale and Deltarune.
Yeah, I did some stuff behind the scenes. Like I did a Megalovania remix. I kind of remixed. I remixed Megalovania. I did remix Bone Trouser at one point. I did some stuff with Deltarune as well, like Ferris Wheel I remixed. Rude Buster I tried, but I generally just didn't find the right instruments to use at the time. But maybe I'll go back to it.
I remember watching you from start to finish do a remix for Spamton.
We don't talk about that one.
Yeah.
We don't talk about.
Why not?
Because I was in like a call, I was like, you know what, you know, it'd be just very, very funny for a quick bit if I just kind of used the sound font to make something. I found the Big Shot sound font, I'm like, oh no, what have I done? And I started going for like an hour. And I think I scared a few people. I was like, how the fuck can you do this in an hour? I'm like, see, the funny thing is, I don't have an explanation.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was wild seeing you just do that in such a short amount of time. And that's another thing I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
When you get set on an idea, you work through it so fucking quick.
Yeah.
Like when you get settled on an idea, whether that be a song, something to write, you speed run your way through the process of that shit, man.
Officer
And
Earl
I
in this
don't
bitch.
know how you do it.
Like,
I don't know how you do it.
I feel like it's just my overall way of just zoning in, and not gonna lie, I've talked about it publicly. I have Asperger's, which is autism, which is low end spectrum. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of just seem to lock in a bit more, and since my brain, like everyone's brain works differently, but when you have autism, it works way different. But I feel like since I have that consistent work set in mind, I just kind of go with it. Like, you've said it in your Complexivus reaction video, like, I don't understand how he does it. I'm like, neither the fuck do I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I kind of just seem to have that hard work mentality, which, from the Peeps era, especially, because that's, where the hard work comes from. But I kind of just seem to be more relaxed. But when I seem to lock in, you can't stop me. No one can.
Yeah.
There have been many that could.
And I really admire that about your workflow and your work mentality. It's super cool. And in that VC, watching you do everything, I was like, how are you so fast? I swear to God, like, I want to say, like, the rough draft of the whole song was done in, like, half hour. Not even.
I would give or take, say, 25 minutes, because it's just like, I have the melody in mind, I can just do it from ear. Like, that's kind of all that happens with, like, obviously with the Dawn of the Dimitri stuff and that, Iris/Dia Games, stuff, it was kind of like, there was MIDIs online, but when it comes down to, like, probably using the effects, using the right EQs and shit, it was just kind of like, I have to do it by ear, and give my own spin on it. But when it comes to, like, doing Deltarune/Undertale remixes, I just kind of don't look online for MIDI stuff, because I just know from the top of my head, because I played the game played both Deltarune and Undertale so much in my spare time, to the point where the soundtrack's just drilled into my skull. So I'm being completely honest with that one, but yeah, I just don't know how the hell, like I get stuff done fast, like you've mentioned earlier, but I generally don't remember it feels longer when you do it yourself, but you look at the time, it's like an hour's passed and you've done like a full song. That, it even still happens today, like even with Restoration, I got one of the songs done in like half an hour, which was
Jesus.
It was the fourth track in the album, which is Ambition Beyond Belief, and it was just like, okay, piano, quiet, potential, like the idea of violins with potential, because I experimented with a new VST, which is an orchestral VST. I'm like, fuck it, we incorporate this as well. So yeah, like that Ambition Beyond Belief and Complex Verse Restoration took half an hour to make, like, properly, like, get the pattern sorted, effects, master, and then render, which took half an hour just collectively. I'm just there like, if I keep this up for like another 2 fucking years, I could potentially have 10 albums worth, but I choose not to because there's so much more you can do. As time goes on, there's always room to improve, and that's why I just don't want to. I don't want to. The thing is, my original plan was to just like, okay, let's end my music career with Compressed Verse Restoration. That was the overall plan, but then I kind of just backtracked on it a bit. I was like, this would be my final album for TGT alone. There's always room to do more, so that's why I'm kind of with the idea for B.B.B to have a completely original album. Like, no story, like, there's a story, but not lore, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And I suppose before we get into stuff like Complexiverse and the B.B.B archives, I wanted to ask you about that. The solo original album that you've been cooking up in the back end, is there anything that you can give us, like news or anything like that, in terms of what to expect for this album?
The album is slated to release probably mid throughout late 2025 or early 2026. That's kind of like the release date.
So you're taking your time with this one.
Yeah, because with Complexiverse, like the first Complexiverse album, I rushed. Lo-Fi Vibes 2, I kind of just took my time with it because it's the first one for the peeps did so well that I had to make the second one right. And even Elijah's like, we need it, we need it. Like, even throughout the Peeps era, there was always that lingering thought of like, what would actually happen if I did a second Lo-Fi Vibes album? Would it kind of just be on par or even better? But thankfully, it's a lot more better. In terms of mixing and mastering, like, I fucking mastered the entire album. The last one, which was the Lo-Fi Vibes EP for the Peeps, no effects, no compression, like, it's just raw, like, it's just no, like, it's big no.
Gordon Ramsay fucking raw.
But yeah, it, like, you got the overall, like, Lo-Fi Vibes EP, no compression, no EQs, it's just reverb and delay. That's all I added to that. When it came down to the Golden Trio side of things, I started experimenting a bit more with compression and bit crushing. And then as time went on for Restoration, I kind of seemed to experiment with adding 2 synths together. Like, literally, there was like a synth that I have that I've used constantly, and I've added like several other synths to it to make unique sounds. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't even know you could do this. Because they didn't teach me how to, like, like, do any extra stuff with synths. I'm like, what the hell? How am I just figuring this out now? Like, it's the Complexiverse Restoration's first deluxe track that really proves it. And that first deluxe track in Restoration, I'm gonna be honest, is probably the better sounding tracks that I've done in a while. So that album, Restoration's my favourite. So, but when it comes down to go back to the BB stuff, like, Finding Thyself is the title of the album, which is gonna be going through various themes of just like when you're feeling low, you're trying to climb back up. Think of it as, like, there's always that phrase of just life is a series of hills where you have ups and downs. That's kind of how I imagine this album to go. It's like, it starts off in a very rough spot and you're going back up. And then, so I feel like planned, the track list amount, I'm not going to go through the track list because that's still in heavy development, but as of right now where it stands, I think...
Okay.
As of... there is currently 8 standard tracks that we've got, and there's three deluxe tracks that are being planned.
Okay.
However, there's just many things I want to talk about, but I don't have said information yet. So
Gotcha.
the next few years are gonna be wild. Send help.
Yeah. So, speaking of, we've kind of dodged around the topic. Let's talk about Complexiverse and the Scientia project.
Oh dear, this will be
because
fun.
there is a lot to cover. I think this will be like 2 hours unto itself. I mean, it could be.
Could be.
It could.
Who
be,
knows?
But. So let's start with the first Complexiverse album.
Oh dear.
What was the original idea behind Complexiverse at its core? What was the idea?
It stemmed from like an idea that just kind of like, okay, something's gone wrong in a at a multiversal scale. Let's incorporate a new universe to it and see where the story goes to. So I was writing the Wired one at the time, which is, and if you didn't know, it's the Wired one used to be just a random shell of energy, but now it's been turned into just a main torture device for the cryptid, and that's originally where the story was supposed to end. But when TGT happened, Complexiverse kind of just seemed to existed in its own right, and I was like, what if we just try and did this and this? And then Complexiverse just kind of became this universe that's just very different and unique. Like, it's just, the Haberverse is we're choked up talking about this because I never really said this. The Haberverse is like havoc. Well, obviously it's havoc.
Yeah.
The Complexiverse is mainly based on but the thing is, the Haberverse is like death, destruction. Complexiverse is more about just the overall complexity, and they're trying to like pinpoint different star systems. Like there's like, we have constellations IRL. They just have fucking patterns of stars that kind of just seem to just repeat themselves, but that'll be explained later in the story, which will be explained in War of Scientia regardless. But Complexiverse in its own right, from the very core, was just an idea that just kind of seemed to stick as time went on. Then when it came to the album and the lore transmissions I did for it, it was just kind of like, Complexiverse Decrypted is looking down at the Wired One, kind of laughing at him, and then he finds the the power of the overall looming emblems, which they don't even have. It's explained in the prologue that that a boulder from outside of Scientia kind of just crashed into the Haberverse, and then it was also explained that in Cataclysm, the gods and deities kind of pried at the boulder, and then the Dodeca Prime just kind of just appeared like, well, you done fucked up. So
yeah.
So the Complexiverse doesn't have that. So it's more unique because it's more about it's the bridge in Decrypted's journey from going to the Haberverse to the Tramaxiverse, because he needs help going to his final resting ground, which was explained in the transmissions. But from that idea came the track list, and then from the track list came the album. I'm still like, I feel like this is a good place to end the story for now. Then the B.B.B Archives channel was formed. Then the Tramaxiverse was born. I'm like, will I ever find an endpoint, really, in this story? But But when it came down to Complexiverse's overall idea, it just kind of seemed to fit. Like, it used to just be like, well, we all know time and space travel exists in the universe. Why not go to a multiversal scale? Like, it kind of just seemed to fit. And Complexiverse was just built on a whim. I'm being honest. There's nothing really concrete about it. It's just like, well, alternate universe decrypted helps Haberverse decrypted go to the Tramaxiverse. Complexiverse Decrypted gets an emblem out of it, well, a false emblem, so to speak. It was genetically made.
Mm.
That means nothing to the story. It's just like a favor. It's just a favor for a favor. It's just like you help me if I help you. So it means nothing. It's just It's just there for show. So yeah. When it came down to the overall idea of Complexiverse, it just kind of just seems to be the introduction to the idea of a multiversal grand scale story, and I'm still like, well, I'm glad that Complexiverse exists, because without Complexiverse, War of Scientia wouldn't have existed, Cataclysm would have never been a thing, so...
Yeah. And as you said, as of more recently with the introduction of the wider Scientia story, you remastered Complexiverse and added new tracks, I believe?
Remastered a few and then added like most new tracks to it. Like I've pretty much made Complexiverse Restoration my magnum opus of the TGT channel. It used to be Lo-Fi Vibes too, but then I said, you know what, fuck it, Restoration will get the spotlight, because not gonna lie, that's my favorite album to date as of right now, because it's bigger, it's better, it's more cinematic than it used to be, because it shows a sign of growth, and I'm really happy of how Restoration came out to be, because the 2 deluxe tracks were, well, the second one especially was so out of place, but it seemed to fit well for the story moving forward. So
yeah,
I don't know if you've reacted to the album, well, the Restoration album or not, but
I have not reacted to Restoration yet.
oh, you're gonna have fun with that
reaction.
one.
That reaction will go out the Thursday before this episode goes out.
Hell yeah.
I have plans for like setting up that kind of stuff, and the Tuesday, I believe, before this goes out, will be the reaction to the B.B.B board pack, which is
I don't know, that project I seem to forgot of. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the TG show. So, the board pack was just kind of like, let's just try and make some tracks in an album and see if we can make an album out of it. So 4 tracks were already pre-made before the stream happened. 4 tracks were made on the stream.
Okay.
Most of them are remasters. I think there's 2 on there that seem to be original. But that's kind of just like well, if we have an album, we whack it out. Fuck it, why not? And then it was just kind of turned into like well, enjoy until the next album, I guess. It's a fucking checkpoint to the big story. Is what I kind of just find very funny. Yeah.
But Complexiverse Restoration, I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm really excited to go into it.
As I say, Memory reacted to it, and it was just kind of like I could tell that it was nothing of what she expected. She was like, wait, this, what? Because I did this album very differently compared to Restoration. I've added new stuff to it. And I know I've said this before, and I know someone made a comment about it on your server in regards to the blacked out restored video. Because I released that was a single at the time, and he said, "Oh, I like the key change." I'm like, "Oh dear." I guess, because that's my first time doing a key change in my entire time in doing music. I'm like, it feels good. It feels like a very good send off for this album. Well, this entire Complexiverse era. It's a good send off for it.
Key changes are my favorite thing in all of music.
Yeah.
And they always will be.
Trust me, you'll get many of them, and trust me, there are many of them in that album.
Oh, there's more than one.
You have no idea.
Oh boy, we will definitely have to see where that goes on that reaction. Yeah, because I did the reaction to the original Complexiverse, which was reaction number 69. There's a 4-letter word. It begins with N. Say it with me now, everybody. Nice.
just there's a simple word. Nice. But I didn't really expect you to react to the Complexus album, I was just kind of like, well, B.B.B. Bob Pack, you told me you were doing. You did tell
Yeah.
me like a week before you reacted to it. It's like, okay, we'll react to this. I'm like, oh dear, this could go one of two ways, and it went it was a mid ground for me because
It went better than you thought it
it
would.
went better. Because not gonna lie, I thought like as of right now, the original Complexus album is shock. It's like I wouldn't say bad, but it was just it was made poorly.
It's not good either.
Like it was made poorly, but there's still some good in it. Like for example, you've mentioned in what was it, Multiverse Era, that there was some constant sirens. I'm like, yeah, even I noticed that as well. I don't know what. See, to be fair, it was the first track I made for TGT, so I couldn't really go back and change it because I didn't have the full version of FL. So yeah, quick. So for those who don't know, I've used the trial version of FL during my entire time making music until halfway through Complexus Restoration's production. So that was very funny to me.
Which is yeah. Which is still wild that you created such good stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you created pretty good material with just the trial version.
Half the time I'm still like, how the fuck have I got in this position in the first place with the trial version of this? Then when I bought I bought the least expensive one, which was like 88 pounds, right? 88 Great British pounds, which I believe was like what, 90 something dollars, maybe 100, I can't remember, but yeah, I just bought the standard edition of it.
Let me calculate it. Pounds, $2. You said 88 pounds?
As far as I remember, yes. It's either 88 or 90. Somewhere along there.
$115.
It's still not bad for a beginner set, really. It's just like... Yeah, I still use the beginner set of it.
It's not bad.
I still use the beginner set of it. It's just... I feel like as time goes on, and if I start knuckling down, I'll probably buy the most expensive one as whenever I get around to it, because it has everything you want in there. So... Yeah, little fact for those who didn't know about Complexus Restoration. Half of it was done on the trial version, and with the original Complexus album, the reason why it sounded very shocking as it did, because it was mainly based on the trial version. So, I'm sorry that if you listen to the OG Complexus album, your ears bled, that was totally my fault. I take full credibility for that. Why did I say credibility? Not just the... I say, oh yeah, I take credit for making your ears bleed, not just I'm sorry. Not I'm sorry.
I take credit for sending you to the hospital.
I take credit for bursting your eardrums to the point where you look like what? To the point where your ears bleed, your nose slightly got it as well. I take credit.
Yeah. But yeah, so Complexiverse Restoration happened, and throughout the process to make that, you definitely built up a lot more lore. So let's talk about, I guess, before the intricacies of the lore came about, what was the basis? Like, was there anything that initially caused you to start writing all this stuff? Like real world stuff, I mean.
Like real world, like scenarios and like, or just...
Yeah.
I think, see, the thing is with Decrypted, I keep going back to it, but he's probably he's probably the golden child of the entire Lore Scientia universe, because he's built from my past traumas. He was a little shit who kind of just acted without thinking, hurt people in the process, and then hurt himself later on. And then that's why I kind of seem to go back to him, because he's normally he's a very weird character to write, but he's a bit more interesting nonetheless. So I built the story mainly around him. Like, in the foundation of it, it's like, okay, this person has a troubled past. He's gonna do some crazy shit, as it was putting into the Invictum's fucking live event, which he kind of just seems to kill like millions off camera without realizing he did. But let's just say he built a massive mech for the war. That killed people. And he had no idea. So that's kind of that now.
I love it when you just casually forget something like that.
No, the thing is, he had no idea because he built a mech. He knows he built it, but before the event, he kind of just implemented a virus into it. It's like, okay, we just put this in here and see where it goes. That virus tended to kill like pretty much millions, if not probably 1 billion people. Which, if I'm gonna be honest, that was probably like during that entire process of writing Decrypted's character, that was probably like his breaking point. Because when he's in jail and he's waiting for his trial, he kind of just goes through his emotions, like his proper emotions, because he's corrupted with a very fucked up AI. That kind of just seems to he made a deal with Death, which is kind of like the virus, a virus that was made and curated from just pure hatred and disgust towards Inviditine. And he made a deal with him saying, if you can heal me, you can possess this brain I have. He wasn't the brightest student in this class, so... But when it came down to writing him a bit, like writing Decrypted as time goes on, it kind of seemed to got more real because he's dealing with family trauma, he's dealing with being literally tortured by not only his father before the events of... Well, before Decrypted was even decrypted, but as well as Death in his own head, like, being like, just persuading him to do things against his will. And then, so when he got round to Complexiverse, that's his redemption. Then he goes to the Tremaxiverse, and whatever happens. I've still yet to properly write it out, but there's a basis for it at the moment. But
yeah.
So Decrypted was made for the sole purpose of putting all my traumas into a character, and trying to put all the demons I had in my head to rest with that character. And I feel like it finally did its justice when certain things happened during the story. Like, Decrypted is he's probably the most unique character I've written, because think about red visor, red hair, like the most basic look you could go for, but he's very unique and different from everyone else in that universe. He's just... Yeah. He stands up more than anyone else. That's kind of... Yeah, for that's sure. Kind of where I got that, like, that stigma is like, oh, he's a troubled soul, turning villain, now just kind of making up for his mistakes, which you can't make up for a mistake of killing millions of people, my friend, but he wants to try and better himself in a different universe.
I was going to say, he can try. He can, at the very least, he can try.
Yeah, so when he goes to the Tremaxiverse, he kind of just makes up for all the bad... He trying to forget what happened, but it's PTSD that kind of gets him, like personally, I don't have PTSD. As far as I'm aware, I don't know what it feels like to have PTSD, but when I write out Decrypted's PTSD, it kind of just seems to hit home for some reason. I don't know what, but it just seems to hit home because sure, there'll be times you kind of remember what you did like years ago, and just like you kind of regret it now. But he goes through the rough of it.
As someone who has been diagnosed with PTSD, it's very hard to live with. If you need some writing tips on how to write characters with that, I'm open, because literally all of my characters have some sort of trauma backs. So,
yeah,
I've always said from the beginning of my writing, trauma is the best form of character development.
That's probably just going to be the slogan of the fall at this point. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
The entire FFO, that's the slogan. Trauma is the best form of character development.
There you go.
Because just about every single protagonist has some sort of trauma.
And I'm going to be honest saying this, like, I really, I've been reacting to the full stuff. Like, I've been on the streams for a couple of times with the solo podcast I've been doing. I'm going to be honest, I really enjoy the full. I really do enjoy The Fall. It's just kind of like I need to get caught up with certain things before I reach the books. So I just want to try and get the
Yeah.
playlist done first, then hit the books. So
Yeah. I'm gonna explain that more in my solo episode, like talking about the fall and the FFO.
mhm.
But I find a lot of solace and comfort in writing the fall, and I'm just happy that people seem to be enjoying it as much as they are, because I have a very small community, but just about over half the fan base is connected to the fall in some way.
Hey, hell
Like,
yeah.
it seems that a lot of my community likes that series, and I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've incorporated Scientia throughout my entire life to the point where I've just kind of find comfort in writing it, because it's kind of like putting all your, like, for me, especially, because Scientia was made, well, Decrypted was made out of pure trauma. Scientia was kind of just like a, well, take all, take my entire past, put it in a room, see where it goes. And that's what, so
Yeah.
Scientia is kind of just like a redemption story just on loop. It's just like, you've done some shit, kind of make up for it, get your peace, but you kind of just seem to fall back down in it again. So that's kind of
Yeah.
what Scientia is.
And the entire FFO, or Forge Fellwork Omniverse, for those of you who don't know, is essentially just me putting my traumas and experiences in a bubble and trying to create a fictional way of how to get the hell out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, a lot of the time, characters die because the I mean, I've never really talked about this, but a lot of the reason that I kill off characters, and especially when I build them up to such a level in the fan base, like where people love them and then kill them off, is because I've had a lot of experiences with people that I've loved and built up to such a high regard, where I have loved them and respected them to such a different level than anybody else, just to see them pushed away.
Mm.
Whether that be through, them or me leaving them, or death. Because I've lost a lot of people. And that's one of the reasons why I kill off so many characters. It's like, it's a part of life. And I think that it's going to be something big that I explain in my solo episode, but death is something that is very hard to capture in a story,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
Because it's all fiction, and it's all, it's not real.
So no one really knows the true, like, ideal way of explaining it in fiction if you don't know personally how it is IRL.
Yeah. And man, we're getting really deep here.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to convey how my experiences have gone through these characters, and I'm really happy that I'm not the only one who's doing that. So,
I've been doing it for a while, like Infinitines, or like I'm gonna go through the three fourth doesn't really count, but there's three of them that really explain my emotions, which is Decrypted. He's more anger based. He's more like a roaming rampant child throughout the entire time. Infinitine's kind of like making up for everything, and he's kind of just like trying to find peace at last. Then you get the joke character, which is a very depressed construction worker. And he was supposed to be like a one-off joke between me and Dean, but I was like, you know what, fuck, we just incorporate him. He's an omnipotent being, as what I've just kind of jokingly said. I still don't know what to do for that fucking character. Mr. Harkentrite is his name. Well, his name's Finwick Harkentrite, which is
okay.
He's a very depressed construction worker who has a child and a wife. There's explanation to why he's depressed, but he's
I'll be honest, I've never heard of this character. I don't think you have explained him to me.
He was a one-off character that's kind of it's an in-joke between me and Dean. Dean Arena, who for those who don't know, because we just kind of just bounced ideas of just like, well, we just kind of played Minecraft a lot, and then Finwick just kind of just seemed to existed from there. I'm just like, this is a character now. Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
But the fourth one that I really don't really count is B.B.B. or actually no, is it B.B.B? He's not even in Scientia. What am I on about? But the ultimatum.
Yeah.
Which, if I can happily say this, you're going to be voicing him.
Yes, I am very happy to be voicing him.
Yeah, but
I really like voicing villain characters, as you can definitely hear in the negativity saga.
Was it the negativity saga? Like, even when you're voicing Nort, it was just like plays it well, and I do not know how.
Yeah, I love getting. I think my favorite character to voice is either Richard or Evan, because they always go into like this kind of territory, this weird gravelly kind of feel. And especially with Evan, I can just do it really rough and
Richard Price gives no fucks. I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, Richard Price gives no fucks at all. And yeah, it's very fun doing voices. If anyone wants to get into voice acting because they sorry. If anyone wants to get into voice acting because they just think doing voices is really fun, do it, because it is. It's a lot of fun. It's
fun when, like, I find it very funny when I try to get Invitine's voice sorted, because I had to go through like different takes. One point where his voice was very high in pitch, I'm just there like, this doesn't suit someone who's grieving. It doesn't suit it, but like this was like the boneworks of Invitine. Like he's just like, so what I did is I took my normal voice, pitched it down, added a filter to it, and with that, there was the idea of what if Decrypted becomes Invitine later down the line, and then that idea just sticks.
Yeah.
So in a way, when I did Invitine's character, like his voice, it was just kind of like he's trying to mask his original voice to be like, well, I'm no longer Decrypted, I'm someone else. You can't pinpoint me to him anymore. So. And
I think the thing that people need to acknowledge with doing voice acting is that you cannot have any shame in doing it. You have to do some ridiculous stuff sometimes.
Yep.
Like, for the character of the ultimatum, we decided on when he yells, behind his yelling, there's my metal vocals, like the gutturals and the vocal fry stuff. And it's just, with that kind of stuff, you have to kind of have a mind that's like, fuck it, you know?
It gives you that creative freedom when you just kind of like, well, if you talk back and forth between a character and his voice, you kind of have that sort of communication. So, okay, what can we do for his voice? Because there's an idea you have in mind, but if you get the voice actor's input, it kind of just seems to help alongside it. Because we made that decision, I'm not gonna lie, it just seems to stick with him.
Yeah. And I really like that aspect because, I mean, for those of you listening, I love doing metal stuff. So to add in my like harsher vocals that I normally just don't do in voice acting, it's really cool. It's really fun.
Yeah, going back to the ultimatum, like his original voice in mind was supposed to be in his voice was supposed to be revealed in the Cataclysm series, but I haven't really fully written him out yet. So when it came down to releasing it after the Cataclysm series, after everything's all done, I kind of sent you the script, an idea.
Yeah.
You took the idea and you pretty much dialed it up to 110. Like, you pretty much brought the ultimatum to existence, and you've done it well. Like, very, very well. Like, I couldn't even done it myself. Like, there's like when I write characters, there's a certain character that I pinpoint to someone. Like with Memory, there's Abigail, who's going to be having a more prominent role in chapter 2, which will be very fun. There's me with Decrypted and Infinity, because they're just kind of just left brain, right brain, if I'm being completely honest. But when it came to the ultimatum, there was really no other choices than you, if I'm being honest, because I'm like, normally with characters I'm like, okay, there's certain people I have in mind, but when it came to the ultimatum, like I started writing a script like that. Winter's the only person that can really do this. He's they're the only one that can actually turn this character into who he is. So I kind of just sent you, you're the only one I can really think of that can do this role. Would you be down for it? So
yeah, that means a lot. Yeah, because I love doing villains. Villain characters are probably the most entertaining characters to voice act, because you get to touch into that like twisted sense of humanity that you don't really get to in other situations. And maybe that's just me being a sociopath, but I don't care. I love voicing villains. It's so much fun.
I just think why I loved voicing Decrypted so much, because he's just more like, I feel like he's more of like the jokingly like destructive type, where he's just like, he makes jokes and
they don't have any filters.
Like Decrypted is a man with zero filter. Like he's just like, if he says something, just know there's no padlock into like, let me filter this. But no, he just says what he says, and he just acts like nothing's happened afterwards. It's like, well, you don't really say that. Oh shit.
I mean, there's it's not out yet. I'm still building up the Trapped and Detained series. I really have to get the ball rolling on that, because people have been waiting for a script for way too long. There's a section where Evan, like he honest to God, he pokes out a scientist's eye. Just because he's I can't remember the exact scenario, but he does it, and he asks the question just before he does it, and he tells the other scientists in the room, clean that up, I don't want his fucking blood on my floor. And it's just like, voicing characters with no filter like that is very fun. And again, I don't know if that's just me displaying sociopathic tendencies. I don't care. It's
fun.
Letting out a lot of my inner shit and doing it in a healthy way.
I was just about to say, that's me with Decrypted sometimes. It's like when I have like an idea with Decrypted, it just kind of seems to like, well, my past traumas seem to fit with his. I mean, he's me, but genocidal. That's kind of his kind of creation. But in terms of what Decrypted's going through, like he's just like left brain, zero filter. He says what he wants, laughs about it, and then just goes on his merry way. And I feel like that's kind of why I like voicing him more than anyone else, because he's just he's the definition of, if you see it, you say it. Like zero filter. If you see it, you have something you want to say, go for it.
Yeah, I don't think I have that script anymore. But it's so much fun.
But I'm going back to the ultimatum for a minute, because like even the ultimatum's just kind of like, he's me, but he's like the final decision of like, he's the decision maker. He's kind of just like think of it as I Roll Me story writer. He does everything. He makes the final decision. Like that's him, like trying to keep everything in line, and his characters come back to haunt him. So that's why I kind of like the ultimatum as a character, and I couldn't have think of anyone else to voice him than you. So because big villain.
Yeah, again, I'm honored. I'm hella honored.
Hell yeah, it's amazing to have you along for the project, because there's like, I'm not gonna lie, there's many more characters down the line, and I'm trying to get the ultimatum planned now before I properly write out Wolves, like properly like do Wolves Scientia like in the long run, because he's been fully written out in the Cataclysm series. That's all done. His backstory's there. It's just where to take it on forward, which I have a stable story for at the moment. I just need to write one more script, then that's all the script's done, which is like the game over screen. It's an optional game over script, which is kind of just like, if there's a game over, we fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's, so pretty much in the four corners of my brain, there's Decrypted, Inviditine, Fenwick Harkentrite, and then the Ultimatum. Those are the four sides of my brain, because I think Scientia is... It's a very weird story. Like, it starts off, well, Big Bang happens, Ultimatum and a couple of other deities emerge. They create Scientia. The Dodecaprime was born from an anomaly outside of Scientia, which phased through the barrier, which only the Ultimatum can really break or even go through. So
Yeah.
it begs the question, what's going to be next in the story for Scientia after War of Scientia? Because, not gonna lie, there's ideas for a second book to be done, but at the same point it's just, well, is a second book really going to give it a big send-off, or is there going to be more? I don't know, but there's going to be plans for a second book. I've talked about it a lot, but who knows? Scientia's going to go a long way. Going to try and get more voice actors involved, but at the end of the day, Scientia's just a project that I find comfort in writing most of the time. It's taken up most of my time, and I really am thankful that people are starting to enjoy the project. Because I know King Crocker is a good friend of mine. He's excited for it. Squish is excited for it. Logan, Elijah, and Kami have been with this project for a very long time. Especially Dean as well. He's been around for a while. Memory. Still, Memory's been a big help in terms of chapter 1, in terms of Abigail. Thankfully, in the next chapter, she'll be reprising her role in that. So
yeah,
that'll be very fun to properly dive back into. But in terms of what Scientia is and what it is moving forward, is to give you the rundown of people who don't know what Scientia is and what I'm talking about, it's kind of just like a multiversal scale story that kind of seems to be Decrypted / Infinitine's life on a constant loop and then breaking it. So that's kind of what the first book is telling. So that'd be very fun to properly write out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've run through the main topics, I suppose. I guess we should talk about something that we are both very familiar with, gaming. We are both gamers.
Hell yeah.
So let's talk about some of our favorite games here. We'll start off with you. Let's go 5. Top 5.
Oh dear. Top 5. That's the thing. I don't really have. Like, I know I have a top 5. It's just like trying to like put them on their pedestals. And be like, okay, which game's better than this? It's just.
Okay, top 5 without any placements. Like in no particular order.
Sonic Mania's up there because reliving childhood. I'll be honest. You can call me a narcissist for doing this, but I'm kind of a big fan of Ultimate Custom Night. Not many people say that because they want to beat the shit out of their screens when they attempt 50-20. So
yeah.
That's one of them. Dark Revival. Beautiful game. Jesus Christ. Like, the Meatley and the team have just outdone themselves with this game, and I can't wait for the movie that they're going to be releasing. It's so
Mhm.
so. It's amazing to see them grow at this point to the actual point that making a movie out of a game,
Yeah.
which at the time it was only seemed that FNAF could only do it because of the traction it got.
Mhm.
But with Bendy, the story is so interesting, and even the meat you said, there's still stuff you don't know about.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of have to put Bendy up there.
All right, that's 3.
Fourth one. I'm gonna say this now only because I was there in MCM, but Solitude Echoes of the Bloodline. I got
Really?
to play it.
That's in your favorite games already.
Yeah, it's because it's the overall idea of what Will has and moving forward. Because overall, I just love Xavier as a character, and I hear my nephew in the back.
It's okay.
Oh dear. But yeah, Echoes of the Bloodline. Like I got to play the subject placement bit of it. I got Advocate. I don't know how, but
Oof.
yeah. I would have thought I'd been like either a playmate or a lost subject, to be honest, but I guess not.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Will explained his idea.
You are not red. You are blue.
Blue. No, I've lost my colour. Damn. But Will explained his idea for the future, and I'm still like, I'm getting more invested in this project than I've ever been, because he's got many things he wants to do with it. I mean, especially with Xavier and Madden, it's just, I love the beta so much to the point, because Xavier's character in it, even he explained, it's like, you can go one of two ways. He can either be jokingly with you, or he's dead serious. I'm like, that's a character I can get behind. That's a character I can get behind.
Yeah.
But Echoes of the Bloodline, I got to play, and I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot more bigger and better than it used to be. With I think was it the MomoCon demo of it? It's a lot more bigger and better, and I really cannot wait for it.
What I love about Xavier is that he's also just really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when he doesn't try to be, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
But and number 5?
Undertale, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's the
enough.
soundtrack for me, and as well as just the overall storytelling of just growth and Sans. It's Sans, for fuck's sake. But yeah, but
yeah, I would be inclined to agree. Undertale is one of my favorite games of all time for that story. It's so good.
So those are my 5 that I can pinpoint as like up there as my favorite games. Like, I was gonna say Choo Choo Charles as like an honorable mention, but after attempting Nightmare Mode, I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Choo Choo Charles is one of those games where it's like, I still find that game just hilarious. That it even came out. Like, it's such a wild concept.
Choo Choo Charles Spider. It's just Thomas the Tank Engine, add 8 legs to it, and that's the game.
Yeah. But it seems to be, like, from the ending of the game, it seems like it's going to be a lot bigger than people thought it would be. All those fucking eggs down there, man. That cliffhanger was wild.
I really want to see like a sequel, even a prequel at this point. Like, what actually happened before the events of the main game? It's just, I really seem to.
Well, we do
enjoy
know
it.
that they're doing the DLC. We know that they're doing that. But as far as a sequel, I don't know if there's anything
planned for it.
Concrete.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's your top 5? What is your main 5 goats? Main 5 game goats of your time on this earth?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No particular order. Undertale is up there, definitely.
No particular order, but it's up there.
Um, Kingdom Hearts 2,
Ooh,
obviously.
that's a good
One
one.
of my
That's a good one, you know.
Kingdom Hearts is my favorite game series of all time. As of more recently, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time.
I haven't personally
I
played Final Fantasy, but after seeing like several clips like other people playing it, I'm just there like I could really vibe with Final Fantasy. Even Kingdom Hearts, I think I've played like at least one of them when I was younger, but at the same time, I kind of seem to just like I like these games, but they're not in my top. I can respect the games and the game development and the story, but it's just that they're not in my top five.
Yeah, I've talked about this with Trey Watson in our interview in season 1,
Ooh.
and I have played all of the Soulsborne games. You know, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, and all that. And Kingdom Hearts is known for its infamous secret bosses. And, you know, so is Soulsborne. And I beat all of those games and all of their bosses within the first couple weeks of me beginning to end.
Yeah.
There was a DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3 that was put out in 2020, and it has the infamous secret boss Yozora. 4 years later, and I still haven't beaten him.
Jeez, I mean, you get those bosses you just kind of can't beat, and it will take you like maybe a decade to beat them. You're like, after all this time, finally I've done it.
Kingdom Hearts 3's Yozora makes every single boss in Elden Ring look like a baby. It is so damn difficult, but I can't wait until I eventually beat him. That will fill me with the greatest rush of euphoria fucking ever, man. I have put countless hours into fighting Yozora. It's stupid. I'm willing to bet it's literal days at this point. Like upwards of more than 24 hours.
Maybe 48 hours at most.
Oh, more than that.
For definite.
Because it's been 4 years since the DLC dropped, so it's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
More games. Borderlands 2, obviously. That's another one of my favorite games of all time. It's so good. The Borderlands universe is just so fun to me. Absolutely great stuff. And I'm gonna list one that I don't think you expected from me.
Okay.
As my number 5. There is a little game for the PlayStation 2 and I believe Xbox 360 that it was released on. A little game called Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. It is a very small game, and it may not even be considered good, but I love that game. I absolutely love it. I cherish every memory with that game.
Yeah,
And
that's really the thing. It's kind of like the small games that seem to get like the best reactions. Like even bit like mainstream games like COD, or even more so. What was gonna go with mainly Activision, like Call of Duty, like quick cash grab at most. No one's really expected. You've kind of seen that medium like plenty of different times throughout different franchises. But when it comes to like very small like indie projects or very small games like the X360, the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, like small games like that, those seem to be the best for some reason. And it's just another honorable mention for the PlayStation 3, Little Big Planet.
Hell yeah.
That is a core memory
Such
of mine.
an underrated series.
Why?
I think so,
Fuck
at least.
Astrobot, who have we got? We need Sackboy back, alright? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, for real. I mean, speaking of like Call of Duty and stuff like that, another one of my favorite games of all time, like honorable mentions, goes to Call of Duty World at War. Because World at War was one of those games, it was right before Black Ops came in and where Call of Duty really got its footing.
Yeah.
But it was the first time that Treyarch and Activision really got to portray the horrors of war.
Really, like literally World at
And
War.
and it was, set in World War II, where Call of Duty really knew where it was. And I remember the ending scene so vividly, because the ending cutscene of the game, you've just finished, the Russian side of the campaign,
Mm.
and it's with President Harry Truman, from the U.S., talking about the hope, the 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 striving to be better, after the war is done. And the the score swells, like the music is so hopeful, and it has the image of a plane in the sky, and you're thinking, like, this is such a powerful ending, like a very hopeful, truly, great ending,
Mhm.
but then the music cuts out, the screen goes black, and the very next thing you see before the credits roll is footage of the mushroom bomb over Hiroshima.
Jesus. Like,
And then the credits roll. And it's like, that's the last thing from the game. It really pushed to be like, war isn't something to glorify. Like, it's not pretty.
never.
And I think the impact of that game is truly something to be studied. So, yeah, I love that game.
Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, the first like COD game I really played was Black Ops. Like, I never really got that chance to really experience World at War, cause
I mean,
I grew up
Black
with
Ops 1 is
360.
fantastic too.
Like, there's the goats of COD that I want to mention, which is COD 4 Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare game that really took off. Modern Warfare 2, the OG one,
Absolutely.
the OG Modern Warfare 2, and because that's where things really start to take off. And Modern Warfare 3, those Modern Warfare games will forever be like lock and key for me, as well as Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and even also Black Ops 3. Like, I
Yeah.
love those like 6 games, because anything after Black Ops 4 or anything after Black Ops 4, with the exception of Cold War, it's not for me. Cold War is
Cold War
it's
Cold
there.
War is a forbidden masterpiece, I think. The campaign
Yeah.
is so good.
Like,
But the rest of the game I could do without, admittedly.
I mean, that's pretty much why I like the Call of Duty games as well as Modern Warfare, because the campaigns in them are so beautiful. Like, they're so beautifully crafted. Like,
Yeah.
and then if you try and prolong something for a long time, it just seems to go sour
Mhm.
for a very long time. Then you get Cold War that kind of brings it back a notch for Black Ops, and then it
Mhm.
goes sour again. And it's just like, what the fuck, really? You had something going, Treyarch. Even you, Activision, but what the fuck?
Yeah. I think, besides the campaign, my favorite thing to go into with COD games is zombies. Because the story
Man of
is
culture.
so... The story is so batshit insane. It's so dumb. None of it makes sense.
Mhm.
But it's so much fun.
Like, I say this, like in my family, I'm the main zombie like freak in my house in terms of playing COD games, because
Yeah.
I don't really get into multiplayer. I mainly get into multiplayer for like the bot system. Like, it's just me versus bots. I don't
Yeah.
really want to get into like online lobbies and get verbally ridiculed.
Yes. COD lobbies, man.
2012, fucking hell, Jesus, it was a time
Yeah.
to be alive.
2010 COD lobbies were toxic.
Oh, you
They're
have
worse
no
than
idea.
Twitter.
Like, think of it as like, if we said the shit from 2010 2012 now, like,
We would be hung.
there would be watch lists for everyone. Like, what the fuck? There will be
Yeah.
most people in jail. Like, but at the same time, you kind of just have to like, you kind of just have to respect COD for being in its prime of its time back then. Not because of the COD talks or like the very very outlandish things people saying it, but you have to respect it because it released in
Yeah.
a time where, like, it was released perfectly to the point where it crafted many more things moving forward in terms of like,
Yeah.
how we shape
It literally
gaming.
changed the shooter genre.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Doom is still the best one because it has the most consistent quality, but you really got to respect COD for doing what it did to just the whole gaming space.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for better or worse, it changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm gonna go to Doom real quick. I fucking pissed myself laughing when I saw. Okay, Nintendo Direct, right? You're just sitting there watching it, and just all of a sudden you see, okay, it's Animal Crossing. You see fucking Doom going, like, what the fuck is
Yep.
this? What the fuck? Like,
I love the
pissed
fact
myself.
I love the fact that they made that canon.
Ain't no fucking way they made that canon. No, they didn't. No, no,
Yeah.
No, I'm googling this shit now. No,
They did. It is canon that Isabel and Doom Guy are, yeah.
No, no. No, I refuse to believe this. No. It is it. No.
It's canon, my guy.
Nintendo, you beautiful gem. You beautiful, beautiful gemstone. Why? I mean, to be fair, they had what was it?
Yeah.
Did they have like were both of those games having an anniversary during the week, or was it on the same day or something?
Same exact release day.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I mean, it makes sense. They're married now.
Yeah.
But I refused to believe. I was like, okay, they're made on the same day, but why is it canon that they're actually engaged and married?
Yeah.
That's what I find funny to me.
Right.
It's just they released on the same day. I didn't know it was canon. Like, I just thought, okay, it was just those two, like a little. It was a kind of like a joke thing. You tell me it's canon, like what? Huh?
Yeah.
That's why I kind of have to
It's
like give like a 10 out of 10 to Nintendo sometimes, because that is just funny to me. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. Nintendo doesn't do a lot for their fans. Oh shit. Okay, sorry about that. Internet troubles.
I feel
More
you.
recently.
I feel you.
Like, yeah, like, Nintendo doesn't do a lot for their fans, and we get angry at them for a lot. But that is just a big fat W right there. I
Big
can't
W.
stay mad at Nintendo because of that.
Yeah.
It's like, they are canonically married in Smash, and that's just, it's so dumb, but it's so funny, and it's so great.
That's why I kind of have to give Nintendo its props, because they know there's memes about like who's going to be the next character in Smash. Sans was one of them. We got him
Yep,
as a
and he got in.
we got him as a me gunner. Like, that's better than anything
Yeah.
else. Cuphead is also involved in it. Well, that's actually beautiful.
I still cannot get over the fact that we got Sora in Smash.
We got Sora.
That was iconic gaming moment right there.
One of my iconic gaming moments in terms of Smash Bros was Banjo-Kazooie, because I love Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts, even banjo, like
Yeah.
old school banjo. Like, I just love like that series alone is probably the foundation of my childhood, along with Sonic, a bit of Mario.
Yeah.
FNAF is there. Like, I wasn't really built on it until like probably later on, like, well, FNAF 3. I'm not going to say FNAF 4 because no, I got scared shitless at that, but
Yeah.
for the sake of memories I have to say it. But FNAF, like, main foundation of my childhood is mainly Sonic, a bit of Mario, Banjo, FNAF, and even more so COD, because not gonna lie, it's just those games built a foundation for me, at least, to just play video games. Like
Yeah.
that's those are like the core for me.
Yeah. And I suppose that we have, as of the gaming talk, we have run through our topics today.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the only question is, what is next in the near future for Brandon? What is next for you?
I know there's been a talk about certain things, so I'm gonna go through each channel listed down, then I'm gonna go to the life stuff at the bottom. So at the very top, Brandon B.B.B. Possible more videos. I did announce that there'll be more sanity breaking streams because I kind of just said, well, it's the end of because I did say to people that actually enjoyed sanity breaking that I'll be ending it off. Then I just teased at the very end of that stream, season 2. That's gonna be a very big thing for next year.
Yeah.
Try and get more videos done. Keyword try.
Yeah.
And an original album next year, possible 2026, and I really can't wait for that to probably come to fruition.
For sure.
TGT based, not really a whole lot besides Wolf Scientia. I mean, there are going to be some other videos down the line and potential like milestone streams if we reach them, but Wolf Scientia is the big one at the moment, which which I'm devoting my time to.
Yeah.
Archives channel, Scientia is going to be a big one. It's the main big one that we've got. Potentially another Scientia album if I ever feel like doing one. Because there is thoughts about it, but at the same time I really just like, you can only do it for so long to the point where you kind of just lose interest in doing another one for a certain story. So I kind of just be like, well,
Yeah.
it's questionable. I could do another remaster of an album, but there's only so much I can really do with Scientia at the moment. Well, obviously the chapter's going to be releasing whenever they go about getting finalized and finished, but yeah, just in terms of archives, expect it. And there's people shooting fireworks outside, and it's like, what the fuck? But life stuff, I mean, I'm still like going through it all, like going through life just as carefully as I can to say for the most part. It's just I've working part-time in a theatre, which is actually pretty decent because it's like a 15-minute walk and like a 3-minute bus ride to my workplace because it's local. Work in a theatre, it's pretty, I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing. It's just like it's next to home. I get to learn more things about the workplace each and every day, more so each and every week because there's new stuff that needs to be done, so that's fun.
Yeah.
I guess what I can really say in terms of more life is just I'm going to try and like go out to more events. Like I've been to MCM recently, and that was amazing. Like that was amazing. I got to meet various people. I got to meet the DA crew. I got to meet Chloe Eves, Rustage.
Yeah.
That was fun. I got to meet Rustage, and I got to meet Elsie Lovelock. So I got to meet various people that I knew in that field. And I got to play some games that was going to be released next year, like Little Nightmares 3. I got to play that. That was very fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
There was also some old school arcade systems, like literal arcade machines, and also old school systems like the old school PlayStation, like the very first, like the Xbox, not 360, but the one before it. Old school Nintendo systems, Sega systems. Like it's just, I want to try and do that more often. But at the same time, I've still got much more to do back here to get there. So yeah, all I can really say is that always expect something from me, and if it's bad, then sorry. If it's at least somewhat decent, I know I did something right. But That's kind of
Yeah.
that's the motto of the B.B.B channel. It's like, if you hate it, you hate it. If you love it, I don't know what I did, but thank you.
Yeah. So, I suppose that concludes this episode. To those of you who are listening, thank you for having more than the thank you for having more than the attention span of a goldfish. It was really fun to do this with you, Brandon.
It's very fun to be here. Like, I'm actually honoured to be here. Whereas, actually, as a runner, I know I've said this. I know I've said this before, even before doing this, but I'm actually honoured to be on this series, because I'm not gonna lie, I've always wanted to speak my mind about certain things that not many people know about. Will it be on different other channels? But if it's on mine, you kind of just and if it's in any of my channels, you kind of just expect it. But if it's on anyone else's, you get to see more what's going on behind the scenes. So that's why I kind of like being on other people's channels, talking about everything else, because it's more personal if it's like one-to-one. Because when it's like me and BC, we just do it to play games. We're friends, but that's it. For the most part, we just kind of record together. But yeah, but in terms of, I'm actually honoured to be a part of the series, and hopefully I'm back on for another episode in the future.
Hell yeah. So, if you guys like what you saw, or heard, rather, leave a like, comment on what you thought of our discussions. I'll leave all of Brandon's links in the socials, the description down below. Brandon, I'm going to give you about 20 seconds to say anything you want into the mic. Don't be problematic. Go.
So, yeah, I'm just an idiot who likes to write stories, play games, and make music. So if you actually like what I do, go into the description, subscribe to pretty much all the channels I'm a part of. Make sure you subscribe to Winter's channels as well. Don't leave him out. We'll leave them out. I'm fumbling this, but yeah, like, subscribe, all that stuff to both of our socials, and we'll see you all very soon.
Alrighty then. That's about it from us. Peace, everybody. In due time.